I don't know. Trying some new things today. We'll see if this actually worked. Doesn't seem like it's working, so that kind of sucks. Oh well, I tried it. I think I know what it is. See if this fixes it. So we're live on Twitch, live on 2 YouTube channels right now. So there you guys are. So yeah, I figured it out. It's because they want me to pay for stuff. That's why they want me to pay to use multiple chats. So I can see you guys. I'll only be able to see the music player on YouTube chat, but the Twitch is set up too. That's live right now. Which it looks like it's not even going through. How are y'all doing? I forgot what chapter I was on. I was like, wait, is it 5? Oh wait, I did 4 and 5 last time. I'm pretty sure I'm a 6. If you guys want to confirm that I'm on 6, that'd be great. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm at. I thought I only did 1 the other day, but I think I did 2. So I just don't remember doing 2. That's the part that's throwing me off. But I must have. Yeah, because it was on a song with, it was like a tan music video with a face on it. So that was 5. Yeah, I know it's not showing up. That's why I just said Janine. Got to pay for it, unfortunately, to get both of them to show up on the chat stream. That sucks. I was trying to, well, at least all this is working. Some of it's working. There we go. So I am on Twitch just in case, because I don't think any of these are going to get taken down, but you go to twitch.tv/musicplayeralan. It is still on there if you guys want to follow over there. For some reason, some things are still not working. Oh, it is. Oh, wait, is it? No, that's me. I typed that. Wait, what the heck? Put some weird symbol near my name. I don't know what's going on here. I know it was a little bit delayed today with the stream. I meant to go at 9:30. Got busy dealing with work stuff this morning. About to be in Scotland in 2 weeks, I think now. 2 weeks, yeah. I didn't do a starting soon screen, so I'm just waiting for a little bit for people to get in here. Hey, welcome in, Donna, welcome in, Janine, Bonnie, Jenny, Kitty. Did we do 5? We did do 5. We did 5 last week. I didn't think we did it either. I thought we didn't, but I'm pretty sure we did. You are the starting soon screen. I am. I think from now on, the starting soon screen, I'm just gonna play music. You guys down? I practiced a lot last night. Learned a couple covers. Avoided finishing my other song. I did work on my original stuff. By the way, guys, if you guys have the means, I'm selling these Dicodec shirts. I have so many of them. Trying to raise money for a music video. If you guys are interested, I'll put the link in the chat right now. They're these. My friend Zach designed this like 10 years ago, and we never ever put on a shirt, but I always want to put on a shirt. Yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll put the link right here. And if you wait like a second, you can get like a discount on it all. And then I believe I'm going to bring some shirts out to Scotland and give them away. So you guys let me know if you guys are there. I will also be giving away shirts out in Scotland. I have so many of them. I just want to get rid of them. I have so much. I will never wear them all. Good news is I don't have to buy shirts for a very long time. This is the most difficult one to watch, but it gets better. They've been all pretty difficult. I feel like they've been all pretty difficult to me, in my opinion. 5 was the Me movie song at the end. Sure. I don't. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 4 was the tan one. That's the one I remember watching in New York. I guess I must have did 2 because I don't know. Here we can let's refresh our memories here. So I even like went and jogged my memory with ChatGPT here and said, give me a summary of the past 5 so I can catch myself up. But I pretty much remember. I started reading through it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now. How far we've gone up so far. Let's look at 5. Just play a song here. By the way, if you're watching from the Dicodec channel, this is my solo channel that I'm live on. I just thought I would go live on Dicodec also. If you guys want to follow over here, because there will be a lot of stuff coming out over here of like track breakdowns and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember watching this song.
This world is quite scary, I know that cause I've been here for some time. But all that prepares me for a day when I can truly shine. Cause I've been so broken, and picking up fragments of myself, I'll glue them back together so I can stand at the edge of this world and yell that my heart breaks 1,000 times a day. For every hope that dies, another one takes its place. Because I have the strength of a mountain, and I've got the courage of the deep blue sea, and I have the heart of a lion.
Is there an audio track for this on like Spotify or YouTube Music, or just this song? I want to say I really like this song a lot. I was like, I forgot how good it was. This would be a fun song to learn too. I'm playing a lot of acoustic guitar lately, so I was like, oh, that'd be a cool one to learn too. It's a beautiful song. Very, very beautiful song. By the time I get to Sunday, coffee just doesn't work anymore, is what I'm realizing. I need to figure that out. I need to like not have coffee for Friday, Saturday, so it like just fucking kicks in like crazy. Honestly, it is not working. It is not working anymore at all. I don't know why. Stop working. Yes, I think so. It was under Bear McCreary who put the soundtrack for the movie together, I think. Oh, okay. Yuck, I hate coffee. That makes me sad, Donna. That makes me sad that you don't like coffee. It's probably not good to drink. Caffeine is just a socially acceptable drug, but it's still a drug nonetheless. That fucks with you. There is an echo. I hope not. I hope there's not an echo. I hope there's not. Maybe it is your brain that is echoing, Janine. Maybe. Just kidding. All right. I think we waited long enough. I hope everyone's here. So let's go ahead and do this. You all ready? Hopefully this caffeine kicks in at some point. I feel so dead right now. All right, let's do this. Chapter 6. And we only have 2 more chapters after this. If you're watching this later on YouTube, we've already done the other chapters. There'll be a playlist down below if you want to check them all out.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to church now.
I'm going to try and hold it together throughout this one. 2015 was the worst year of my life. At the end of 2014, I attended a private UK-based ME specialist clinic called Breakspear. For some reason, the treatments had sent my health nosediving, and I became more sick than I'd ever been. I became so weak that I couldn't walk to the bathroom without needing to lie on the floor to recover. I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't read. I couldn't watch TV. All I could do there was lie there in pain. It was obvious during this time that I needed to move back home with my mum again. She moved to Cardiff with a new husband, and they had a spare room, which became my tomb for the next 8 months. At this
Why does this sound familiar? I feel like I've heard this before. Huh.
point, I was so weak that the most that I could manage to do a day was to take a shower. The rest of the time I was confined to my bed. I started reacting even more severely to foods, so every single meal had to be blended into soups or broths to avoid negative reactions. Pain constantly shot through my shin bones and through my feet, like splinters. My stomach would gurgle, and the muscles in my body would constantly twitch, spasm, and ache. My body felt drained of every single ounce of life, and I was so tired, but I was too wired to sleep. I was so full of mental fog that reading a single page on a book seemed impossible. The daylight coming in from behind the curtain hurt my eyes. Loud sounds felt overwhelming. All I could do was wait and pray for sleep, knowing that when I woke from it, nothing would change. I wouldn't feel in any way rested, and all the symptoms would persist. This went on and on and on. It was day after day of physical and mental torture. I thought of concentration camps, of prisoners of war being tortured. At least the escape of death seemed likely.
So you guys are saying in the chat that a lot of this is mentioned in the lyrics. That's probably where I'm recognizing it from. Yeah, it just feels very familiar. Like I've heard him say this before. So I was like thinking that I saw the video or something already. But that's good to know. That's cool how they. Well, that's what we do, right? I have a bunch of stuff that I've written down that has ended up in songs or reworded into songs.
During that time, I never got breaks. My whole body burned. My brain was on fire, and I had nowhere to hide. In the merciful moments where I could concentrate, I tenaciously trawled the internet, looking for ways out. My research drew me to a procedure called a fecal transplant that was having success managing things like Crohn's disease or colitis. It had also gained success in some select cases of autoimmune conditions like MS too. At the time, I felt like much of my issues were caused by dysbiosis, which means an imbalance in your gut flora. I noticed that all the food intolerances started after a large course of antibiotics for the parasite. I wondered if the parasite had wreaked havoc on my microbiome before I nuked it with antibiotics that worsened it further. Fecal transplants can introduce a whole host of probiotic bacteria into your gut, and it can re-establish a healthy homeostasis. In normal person speak, I wanted to pay to put another person's poop in my butthole.
Yeah, I remember this. I watched this. I'm pretty sure we did this last week, or the week before. Is he saying this again? Because I remember that. I was like, oh, that was hilarious the way that he worded it. I swear are you sure we didn't do chapter 6, or is he saying it like a second time, or like rephrasing it in this other chapter? See, this is why I should just watch them all in one. Well, I definitely heard this. I definitely did this at some point. This like section, maybe we just did the first half of it or something. So, it's just weird. I 100% heard this. Oh, are you guys sure he doesn't repeat it in like an earlier chapter? Maybe we'll still watch it all the way through. We'll just finish this up.
I carried on filming videos from my bed, blogging my experience. I was pretty convinced that during this time I wouldn't be alive much longer. And part of me wanted there to be some kind of document of what I'd been through in hopes that it might help someone later down the line.
And if this illness does kill me,
I don't remember this part though. That's
I want
weird.
this video. I want somebody who can take notice of this video and do something with it.
I had a fundraiser open to save money for the fecal transplant, which was very slowly creeping up. I needed to save $6,000 in total. I remember my girlfriend wanting to come and visit, but telling her that I didn't want her to. There are a few reasons for this. One, I was pretty sure I was going to die soon. The day before Joe died, I'd been sat with him at a pub, catching up, playing pool, cracking jokes. I'd often wondered if I'd have been hit less hard by his death if I'd been away at university when it happened. For my girlfriend's sake, I wanted her to have distance from me. I also felt ugly. I felt unlovable. I was unable to communicate, and I didn't want her to see me like that. I watched my mum look thinner and more frail every day that she had to watch her son deteriorate, and I felt immense guilt. My mum would often walk in and find me either crying on the bathroom or kitchen floor, having no energy to get back into bed. She'd often sit with me and massage my feet, which always hurt, and she'd hum melodies to me like she would do when I was a little boy. During this whole time, I hadn't picked up my guitar. I barely had any sunlight touch my skin, and I lost a lot of weight. I was about 130 pounds at my lowest, about 8 or 9 stone, which for someone who is 6'1" is very skinny. My average weight is usually about 168 pounds, 12 stone.
He's 6'1"? Wow. I didn't know he's that tall. He's taller than I am. I'm 6 foot exactly. I thought it was. I guess this was one of those things. I didn't know he's that tall. Thought it was shorter for some reason.
Every day the same thing. I'd wake up in pain, eat a meal of blended vegetables and chicken, lie with my eyes closed for hours while the world seemed to spin erratically, and I'd often cry as the bones in my legs felt like they wanted to grow out and burst out of my skin. Despite this, what I didn't know is things were about to get a lot worse. Come June, I've been in bed for about 6 months straight. I've regained some energy to leave the house every now and then to go shopping for groceries with my mum, and I've finally reached my target for the fecal transplant, and my mum drove me to the clinic to get the procedure. Everything seemed to go as smoothly as it could for such a bizarre experience. I received a colonic irrigation, which was like a car wash for your colon. Actually feels pretty good. They then proceeded to put someone else's excrement in my behind. They would repeat this process for 5 consecutive days. When I got home, I realised I felt a little odd, almost manic, and I was hopeful that this meant my energy was coming back. But it wasn't a nice feeling. As the days progressed, I started to feel an innate sense that something was very wrong. It seemed my immune system was going into some sort of overdrive. My brain was buzzing, and the more time that passed, the more uncomfortable I felt. I remember early one morning, I was lying on the kitchen floor after attempting to get a glass of water. My body hurt so much that I was digging my nails into the laminate flooring, screaming, and my mum ran in and asked me what was wrong. I remember repeating, "I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go," over and over again. I felt myself falling down a deep tunnel in my mind, almost as though my entire soul was tumbling down into an abyss.
Damn.
When I finally crashed to the bottom, I was hit with this immense feeling of stillness and peace. I stopped crying. I sat up, and my mother looked at me, puzzled. I've not felt to this day that sort of serenity that I felt in that moment. I looked around the room, and everything seemed to have gained a clarity and quality. But what was most peculiar was the feeling of stillness. There seemed to be some sort of respite from the mental torture and fog in my brain. I still to this day have no explanation for what happened. I looked at my mum, I smiled at her calmly, and I told her that everything was okay now. Her partner Michael came in, and I remember them both looking at me, perplexed. I started speaking fluidly for the first time in months, but it wasn't quite me. I was cracking jokes, being witty. My mum would laugh nervously. I remember feeling as though I was coming up off an ecstasy pill. I felt this underlying feeling of euphoria. I caught myself occasionally erratically snapping my fingers or making whistling noises in between.
Is that, you think that is tons of adrenaline coming in to fight feeling the pain and everything?
between sentences, or staring at some empty part of the room as though there was somebody there, then snapping back to the space and talking to my mum. This feeling of intense euphoria lasted about 48 hours. During this time, I'd adopted some newer strange behaviours. Everything in my room that wasn't parallel bothered me, so I had to make sure it was aligned and facing the same direction. The whistle and the finger click became a new tick, and it started rising in frequency the more time that elapsed. I also noticed that I get stuck on words or sentences when talking to my mum. For example, if I was saying a sentence like, "I'm not sure how I'm feeling today," I would sometimes get stuck on the whole sentence or just a word from it and repeat it about 30 or 40 times before I could move on to the next. So I'm not sure how I'm feeling today, feeling today, today, over and over. I can't really explain why, but it's like saying it carved out a safe space for me. After about 2 days, that feeling of peace and euphoria was swapped out for a feeling of immense dread and doom. I felt fear fill my body unlike any fear that I've ever felt. I'd often wake up in the early hours of the morning screaming at the top of my lungs, a torturous scream that would fill the whole house, a scream like my legs were being sawn off. I felt pure terror. My mum would run in and try and calm me down. Sometimes I'd be thrashing, hitting the mattress, pounding the walls. It usually ended up in me exhausting myself and her stroking my head in her lap as I sobbed and repeated the same words over and over again. Everything in these moments terrified me. The compulsion to make everything parallel became a necessity. Whenever I was in the kitchen or car and the dials were facing the wrong way, it taunted me. My mum started taking me to a weekly talk therapist in hopes it would stop me from killing myself. I did catch myself researching the most painless ways to do it. I often daydreamed about death, and it made me feel at peace. At this point, intense paranoid delusion.
It's like that thing you hear about people getting completely happy out of nowhere, and that normally the next day they're gone. They take their life because they finally have come to the conclusion that they're going to just end it. And that happens all the time. And then you get like a sense of peace because you know the pain is just going to go away afterwards. Especially when the pain is this excruciating, like sometimes you're just thinking this is the best way out. Because you know for sure you won't feel it anymore if you're gone. Unfortunately, is a way that your brain will, it's unfortunate that's where your brain will take you sometimes.
Started creeping in. I wondered if what was happening to me was demonic. I don't remember how I got there, but I remember one time speaking on the landline to someone who claimed to be an expert in dark magic. He told me that being around my mum was bad for me. He told me that she was bad. He told me that I needed to do a ritual with black wax candles in order to free myself. I remember ordering black candles from eBay, and when they arrived I had a change of heart, and I decided against doing this dark magic ritual. I fell asleep that night, and I woke up the next day to find the candles totally melted onto the white mantelpiece that they were on. They'd never been lit. I still don't really know for certain if anything of these things happened, but the melted wax was definitely real. I remember picking it off with my nails. There were moments that my rational mind knew that I was hallucinating. Sometimes in the night I would hear perfect string quartet symphonies with no sound source for them to be coming from. I remember one time my mum took me with her to the post office because during this time I'd rarely been left in the house alone. I remember the lady behind the till reaching for some sellotape. As she tugged on the tape, it sounded as though it had been amplified 1,000 times. It was deafeningly loud. I ran out of the store crying and shaking, and I sat in the passenger seat of my mum's car, rocking back and forth, where she found me uncontrollably sobbing, repeating the words, I can't, over and over again. My paranoia grew. I boomeranged between thinking I may have been latched onto by some demonic entity, and I became suspicious of even my own family, to thinking I might be part of some sort of twisted experiment, where a group of observers were seeing how far they could push me before I snapped and shattered. My irrational mind concluded that if I start behaving in unexpected ways, I might confuse the people conducting this experiment, and they'd shut it down. I'd sit in my own bed manically grinning in response to the jolt of pain in my legs. I'd say things to Mum and Michael which made no sense at all. This all seemed to be leading up to a very unusual day. I can't quite recall the details of how it happened because it was quite tricky to tell what was reality and what was not. But from what I remember, I was in the car with my mum, parked outside a supermarket, and I'd put my laptop on the roof of the car while I'd helped her with groceries. I'd forgotten it was there and she drove off. It wasn't until about an hour later I noticed and I started panicking. My laptop had on it hundreds of songs from my time in Brighton. It was all I had really to show for my life. I was already in such an emotionally fragile space that losing that felt like some sick, torturous joke. We drove back and searched every place it could be with no luck. As we were driving home, my mum pulled up at a junction and something in me snapped. I got out of the car and I ran away from it. I convinced myself this was still part of the experiment, because what else could explain that sort of luck? Once I got far enough away, I proceeded to strip off all my clothes and I lay in the middle of a road staring up at the sky, laughing in hysterics. This was the opposite of how one should react to losing their computer, and so it seemed like the perfect way to confuse my observers. With time, the police showed up, as did my mother. By some miracle, she convinced them not to take me in or section me, and by a further miracle, they also relayed to my mum that a dented laptop had been handed in an hour earlier. I took this as meaning my experiment had worked. I eventually snuck off as my mum was talking to them. I wandered slowly around this unfamiliar village until I encountered the second angel I would meet in my life, this time in the form of a black homeless man. I'm not sure how we got there, but I was...
It's like how this chapter right now is just widening the lens. You know, it's not just Ren's pain anymore, it's the pain of the people who loved him and refused to, you know, they just refused not to give up on him. And he's like bringing in other people that he found that saved him on top of that. You know what I mean?
As I was walking, I turned to my side and a man dressed in tattered grey clothes was walking beside me. He asked me what was wrong, and I explained the best I could the events of the day. I explained that I'd been sick a very long time, that I was tired, so tired, and that I just wanted to be better. The homeless man paused. He put his hand on my shoulders and he stared into my eyes. His eyes had a light grey tint. They were almost white, and something about his presence made me feel incredibly safe, incredibly still. He smiled, a kind smile, and he said to me, "Everything's going to be okay, Ren." And then he vanished. I hadn't told him my name. I never hallucinated anything after that day. I have no real explanation for that day. I chalk it down to a psychotic episode or stress-induced hallucination, but the events which follow put a lot of questions in my mind. What he said to me was very simple, but also very needed. I realise a lot of people might hear these stories and just presume I'm a bit mad, a bit weird, like I do when people tell me their ghost stories. All I can do is tell you my experience and let you derive your own conclusions from it. Anyway, I got home and I started to obsessively research ways to escape this new seemingly psychotic space I was in. It's a strange thing to describe, but it was like me, Ren, was in the passenger seat of my mind while some other entity was steering the ship. I was watching myself do things like scream at night or repeat words over and over, and I think to myself, damn, that's pretty crazy. But I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Every now and then I had moments of lucidity where I was more in control. I was doing things like stimming. I had night terrors, vocal tics, I'd stutter and I'd stammer. And for me, a lot of that lined up with some...
What does stimming mean? If anyone in chat can help me, what does stimming mean? So, it's interesting that he's talking about this because I had about having like the psychotic break and things like that. Just from... It's like almost if like the illness was just like completely just ravaging his mind, and psychotic breaks can be very hard to come back from. I just, even with that relapse I had like a few weeks ago, it lasted for 3 days. And I was just seeing all types of stuff. It was very scary. It was the first time that's ever happened to me. So I can't even imagine, like, luckily it was no conversation. That it was just like, I kept opening my eyes and still seeing stuff, and I just wouldn't go away. And I'm like, and I knew it was because of the lack of sleep for 3 days straight. And it's just wild, the stuff that you see. And I just can't imagine if any of those people that I was seeing like came up and talked to me, I probably would have completely cracked. It definitely scared me straight for sure, because that was definitely something that never happened. This is a completely different situation. Just I know that feeling of just like seeing stuff or like talking to things. Actually, even being sober too has happened once or twice. So it is really hard to explain. It's like I feel like it's just like your brain's trying to talk to you, and it doesn't know how to get through to you. So it finds a different means of or a way to show you something that you need to see that will help fix the problem or the issue. Maybe that was what the homeless guy was there for. Be like, hey, you just got to fight a little bit longer because there's going to be something that comes up later that might help you. I don't know.
Sort of transitory or stress-induced autism. I'd known a family with an autistic teenager, and some of the behaviors seemed to line up.
So it normally means rocking. That's what was the word they said again? I just never heard that one.
Every now and then I had moments of lucidity where I was more in control. I was doing things like stimming. I had night terrors, vocal tics.
Repetitive movements that help regulate emotions. Everyone does it to some extent, but they are very common, and autistic people can take many forms. Gotcha. Like, yeah. Like, I guess, like knee taps or stuff like that too. That's something I do. Or lip quivers is a big one, like snapping fingers. I can't even snap my fingers. It's not even possible for me. I have no clue how to do it.
And I'd stammer. And for me, a lot of that lined up with some sort of transitory or stress-induced autism. I'd known a family with an autistic teenager, and some of the behaviors seemed to line up, which led me to a new pathway of online research. I came across this support group for a subset of children with autism called PANDAS, PANDAS. It was believed that these kids had the neurological infection of the Streptococcus bacteria that was causing these autistic-like behaviors.
I shake my leg, and
I was presenting with some similar behaviors.
The other weird thing that I do, I can't believe I'm saying this, I like to stab my gums with something sharp. It's the weirdest thing. I don't feel any pain. It just feels good. It's the weirdest thing that I have. Like, to calm down. I'll literally it'll like be the point of my nail and just stab my gum in between my teeth. I don't know what it is, but it calms me down. It's so weird.
These kids would do long courses of antibiotics, and their symptoms would diminish or disappear, and they'd be seemingly normal children again. I speculated that the fecal transplant introduced a whole host of new bacteria into my gut, but that I didn't have the immune regulation to be able to control it, and it had sent my entire system into some sort of inflammation overdrive. I researched the most effective antibiotic for Streptococcus, one being penicillin, and I convinced my mum to take me to the doctor, where I faked a stomach bug. I lied to him, and I said I'd had similar things in the past, and the penicillin cleared it right up. He reluctantly prescribed me a 2-week course of antibiotics because I was so persistent. I got home and I started the course. Initially I felt fucking awful, somehow even more tired than usual, and then towards the end of the course I noticed a definite shift in my energy and comfort. By the end of the course, my psychotic behaviours had disappeared and my energy felt a lot better. I stayed indefinitely on various herbal antibiotic supplements like oregano oil at this time, having learned that this was also active against certain pathogenic bacteria. Keep in mind also, I'm just going off script right now, keep in mind if I'd have followed the advice of most of the doctors that I'd seen at the time who were talking to me about my psychotic behaviours, I would have probably been put into a mental facility and medicated with medication that I didn't need, and would have probably gotten a lot worse. So it was very lucky that I took no one tells you that antibiotics can treat psychosis, and these antibiotics did actually treat my psychosis.
Oh shit, I did not know that. I just learned something new. Antibiotics can treat the psychosis. Yeah, I was prescribed with some drugs. I haven't taken them though. I don't take them at all. I'm fucking scared because I've seen what it's done to my friends. So I just don't take them. I like if my brain's going, fuck it. I'm just gonna let it go. I don't even care. I'm not taking any medication. I don't know if that's stupid. Probably is, but I won't do it. I just can't.
And I was no stranger to the placebo effect. I'd taken everything, it wasn't placebo. It didn't matter. After about a week, I'd finished the course, and some of my more familiar symptoms like fatigue and pain started creeping back again. But that didn't matter, because what this whole experience had taught me was that the origin of my sickness was in fact bacterial.
That's a good point.
And it was pathogenic. The biggest thing it taught me was I could actually do something about it. I was no stranger to the placebo effect after years of trialing different drugs and supplements. This wasn't placebo. I took to the internet again and found a world-renowned specialist over in Brussels who was also leading a lot of the cutting-edge research for ME. I got on the phone and made an appointment. He was booked up for the next 9 months, but that gave me enough time to save money. The antibiotics and new herbs I was taking had also given me a new lease of life, and the hope for a cure made me more determined than ever. I started having enough energy to go on walks, which was huge for me at the time. My dad would drive over to my mum's and we'd go out in the car, and I'd take photos of wildlife on beaches. I was picking up my guitar again after months in bed. I eventually invited my girlfriend over and made the decision to move back to Brighton as soon as I was strong enough to. It was around this time that I started working on the album Freckled Angels. I knew that the future tests weren't going to be cheap. I pulled together some old tracks from the days I was working with Sony, and I got hold of Eric and asked his permission to release them, which he graciously granted. So thank you, Eric.
Very beautiful.
I then
photos.
pulled together some newer material and compiled my first ever album from my bedroom. In those days, I had no real way of promoting myself and no energy to do shows, so it was mostly to be listened to by my friends and family. I named the album Freckled Angels after Joe. Joe was covered head to toe in freckles, and it seemed fitting to dedicate this work to one of the coolest and funniest people I ever knew. Any ounce of energy I did have from my limited reserves, I'd pour into recording that album. It's by no means a work of art, and it's a bit thematically disjointed, but some songs like Crutch or Pocketful of Pain went a long way to photographing that time. I'm going to leave you with a recording of Pocketful of Pain. Back in those days. Enjoy.
Again, it's just showing like how these people, even, you know, with Joe not being there, like how much of an impact it had for him. Just a huge impact for him altogether. And this song coming up is is it going to be another acoustic one that he did off that album?
Cool.
Also when he was in the studio.
Da 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 da. Yeah, 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 yeah. I watch the sun when it rises, when it's climbing the sky. I see.
I'm sorry, not studio. That's I meant studio recording from your house.
Here with the pocket full of pain. I've got tears in my juice, in my mind. There's a noose, but my hope makes me cling to the day. I wanna run with the sun and the moon and the stars till I'm running faster than my pain. I wish I could breathe out this fear, this doubt, send it into the Milky Way. I got my finger on the trigger of a Magnum 44, but survival instinct won't let me bleed. I wanna put a bullet straight in my cerebral tissues place, but my index finger won't let me squeeze. I wanna skate down my vein with the blade till the blood runs thicker than the thoughts in my head.
Oh wow.
But don't ask me why, this is not my goodbye, it's a suicide failure attempt. Dum, 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 dum. I choose life, I choose life, I choose living. Put the bottles and the pills down, I stand up, I breathe with precision. Calm washes over me like a break in the storm. I close my eyes for a minute, then my troubles transform, and I travel deep into the corners of my mind. I remember the first time I felt hopeless. I think I was 5, cause at the hands of this bully, the lessons that I learned is that this world is not so beautiful. Sometimes it can be burnt by the fires of evil that are living inside the common people just like you and like I. We'll all strive to survive, and we all climb to the top over our brothers and sisters, whether we mean to or not. And we get lost in the tide of insecurities and power seeking fooleries, but happiness don't live inside no jewelleries. In an age of distraction, we would rather tap on our iPhones than stop a war from happening. It's heartbreaking, Satan's patiently waiting for us to mess up big time, so hell on earth will be blatant. So forgive me for wanting to blow my brains out, but I've got a change of heart. It's time for change now, rearrange now, fist in the sky. I say proud, say loud, revolution word on my brain now.
It's crazy how good back then the mixes were. Like, he was still mixing and doing really good sound back then. How old is this? This is professional quality. Like, this is professional. And this is back then from his house. That's insane. That's insane.
With the people, yeah, power's with the people. If the people strive for unity, the world it could be equal. You could be the start of the beginning, a dawn of no stress, no troubles, no sinning, just living. So overthrow evil and greed, put aside your distractions, welcome change with me, welcome change with me, welcome change with me, welcome change, welcome change, welcome change with me, welcome change with me, now welcome change with me, now welcome change, welcome change, welcome change with me. Yeah, 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 yeah. And da-da-da-do.
So cool. My mixes in 2015 were trash. They were not good. I still have them too, actually. Yeah, they were not good. They were not sounding like that, that's for sure. Not like that at all. Not at all. Yeah, just a little update on everything. Well, but actually, before I do that, I really wish I waited to watch this a little bit later, because like I'm in the process of this third week from that relapse, where it's always in the third week where it's like I'm just fucking dead. So I do apologize if my energy is just like dead. It always happens. First 2 weeks is like erratic. Third week is I'm just no emotions whatsoever inside. So if I seem off today, I am. That's why. So I was like I still wanted to stream because I also didn't want anyone to worry. Everything's good. Everything's staying strong. So, but it takes me a good month to get back to normal. Well, not even. You know what I mean? I guess my version of normal, whatever that is. Yeah, I just wanted to go live just to give you an update. I'm sorry. I'm like, if I seem like I'm like, there's nothing. It's just like emptiness right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. But and that's after 3 cups of coffee. You know what I mean? Normal, crazy normal, Teresa, crazy normal. I'm going to watch that again. I'm going to watch that again on my own time, though, just to really soak it in. Yeah. I mean, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling right now. This is no fun. This is, I just want to sit there in a room and do absolutely nothing. One day at a time, for sure. It's, I definitely don't want to fuck up again. That's for sure. It's just, I don't like it. I want to get back to playing music and stuff, and getting songs written and everything. Yeah. I should have rephrased that. Get back to Alan Normal. Alan Normal. Okay, that's what I meant. Hey, we got 69 concurrent viewers. It's pretty funny. That's pretty fun. We should get 69 likes. That's it, though. We got to stop at 69. I have too many. There's too many versions of Alan. There's too many. Yeah, try sitting alone, and we'll come knocking on your door. You know what really helps, though, is going outside, for sure. I've been getting in the habit of doing that, just like going outside, just staring out into the abyss. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's this feeling is really, really weird. It's just weird. It's just odd. But hey, I'll be 3 weeks in on Tuesday, so that'll be good. And then one more week before I go to Scotland. So hopefully I'm okay by the time we get to Scotland. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to be okay by then. Take a nice walk. Yeah, that I'm gonna do that. I'm actually gonna do that, Teresa. I'm gonna take a walk after this. And then hopefully maybe come back and try to write some music. Alan Normal is fun. Which one? Which one, Troy? Which one? Will we see you in Glasgow? Teresa, Janine, we're not going to be in there, are we? Are we going to be in Glasgow? I don't think so. Oh, we are. We are going to Glasgow. Oh, yeah, we're going to Glasgow. Yeah, sorry. There you go. There's your answer. I'm sorry, guys. I am out of it. I am completely out of it. Man. But it should be good. Should be good soon. I had a lot of unfortunate stuff happen this past week too. Some weird betrayals that I did not expect to see coming, which was kind of sad. So I had more sad things happen. Unfortunately, we'll talk about that another day. Maybe that's why I'm feeling this way too. On top of just like trying to stay sober and stuff. But it is what it is. At least there's no more funerals. I'm very happy there's no more funerals. Yeah, this year has been pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Don't jinx it. I can't. You can't even jinx it anymore. It just happens. It just happens. Yeah, being kind to yourself is really important. Who else sucks at that? Who else sucks at being kind to themselves? Big hugs all around Scotland. Hey, let me know if you're going to meet me there. I'll bring some shirts. You guys want some free Dicodec shirts? Let me know. Or if you have the means, please consider checking out that link. It would greatly help out. Because I do plan on coming back from Scotland and filming that music video for that new song. So any funds will help. I'll put that together and I would appreciate it. Hit me up in Discord. Send me a message. Just tell me what size shirt you're wearing because you're going to be there in Glasgow and I will bring it. I'll bring it for you. I have all the way from small to 3XL. So whatever shirts you guys want, I got you. I'll bring it with me. I'm going to go over there with a bunch of shirts. I'll give them to you guys. Here, let me know right now in the chat. I'll get them out right now. I'm kind to other people, so I don't have to be kind to myself. There you go. Hopefully, like all this was still enjoyable, though. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I do love watching this stuff with you guys. I'm looking forward to doing like more like reactions live too with you all. Love you guys too. All right, I'm out. See you next Sunday. Last Sunday before being in Glasgow. So last Sunday, we should finish up the chapters. Janine has sent me something about going over watching the goals, right? The goals is opening for Ren, or for the big push. Sorry. The Ren stuff is in August. So we could do a breakdown of the track. I did hear the song already, but we could break it down, check it out. Yep, the goals. We can do that next week, and then I think I will be good by next Sunday. I would finish up the chapters. I think it'd be fitting to finish all that before leaving to Glasgow. Definitely gonna record some content out there. I'll definitely still go live while I'm out there. Can't miss that stream. Can't miss the stream with you guys. Can't miss the Sundays. All right. I'll see you all next week. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully normal crazy next week. All right. Make sure to follow on Twitch too, because I think if we pull up more songs next week, we'll have to definitely go to Twitch. We're live on Twitch right now. I don't know how many of you are watching from Twitch. Let me see. Okay, we got some people. Oh, we got some commercials. It's the HD. Okay, we have a few people on Twitch. Here we go. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Jadine. Oh, Troy's on here too. But yeah. All right. Oh, Ken, I see you there. All right, y'all. I'll see you next Sunday, if not earlier. All right, have a good one. See you.